If I look at the Ghanaian economy at the moment, it's doing, I mean, let's just be honest, it's doing terribly.
Not terribly.
Well, your inflation in your country, inflation in Ghana.
I don't know the economy in the world that's doing well. Tell me where you are here. Inflation in Ghana. The highest inflation.
Well, 15.7%. The Ghanaian cedi has fallen 20% on the dollar. The worst after Russia, which has a lot of sanctions against it.
It's began to firm up. It has begun to firm up. We're seeing the cedi systematically appreciating against the dollar.
People still can't employ. I was just reading today. People in the hospitality industry that you're pushing so hard. Having to lay their staff off. We've got taxi driver unions threatening strikes because of spiraling fuel costs. I mean, it doesn't look like a place that I want to go and put my money.
Where will you put your money in the world today? Where will you put your money? In Britain, which is suffering the worst standard of living statistics for over 30 years? Is it? Oh, I think let's situate ourselves correctly. The world is going through very difficult times. Ghana is no exception. Nigeria is no exception. There's no country in the world that is escaping the ravages of both COVID-19 and also the impact of the. But what you need to look at are where are the elements being put on the ground that look beyond the COVID and beyond the Russian-Ukraine war. And I think you'll find that in Ghana, the recovery program that we have is one that is considered very credible, and it is what is going to give us the opportunity to come out of this period a stronger economy. And it is that future that we're looking at when we're attracting people.
Let's talk about one of the structures that you say you've put in place, the E-Levy. A lot of people are calling it a stealth tax on people who already are impoverished. It's a 1.5% tax on people who do business on their mobile phones. So if they use their mobile phones to send money or to...
The digital economy, the mobile economy.
Yes, but you're taxing people on money that has already been taxed.
Is the biggest economy is emerging as the biggest economy in the country, and for a long period has not had any taxation at all. So it is important now that they also come into the net. Our country has one of the lowest tax to GDP ratios of any country in West Africa and of an equivalent economy. The ECOWAS area, the general average today, tax to GDP average is about 18%. Ghana, we're at 13%. So it's as if you're talking about a country which is already overtaxed, if anything at all, is undertaxed.
Okay, let me take you up on that point. On your low tax ratio to GDP. I'm just going to read this quote to you. It's from John Kwache, who I'm sure you might know is the Director of Research at the Accra-based Institute for Economic Affairs. He says there are several loopholes in our tax system that if they are plugged, we'll be able to raise our tax to GDP ratio to something like 20% from the 12% that you're talking about. Are you speaking to experts like him?
First of all, there's a recognition
that he says that there's no need for the E-Levy.
Well, that's his point of view.
He's an expert.
But he's an expert. There are experts in government as well, and we think it's necessary, and that's the reason why we...
You think it's necessary to tax people who are already impoverished?
They're not already impoverished. We're talking about people. We're talking about taxing an industry and transactions where a lot of value is being created, and we want to also bring that value into government coffers. I think that is something that is there's nothing so, and the E-Levy is not Ghana, it's the only country that has something like a digital tax. Many countries, they will not like it.
Because they're already taxing people who do business online, and then you are taxing as well.
People never like taxes. I don't know any group of people, especially businesses, when taxes are brought to them that like it.
When you hear all these stories, Mr. President, I mean, Ghana was one of the rising stars of, the economic recovery of Africa, so to speak. But when you hear about all these issues with the economy now, what exactly went wrong?
Nothing has gone wrong. We're part of those who have been very badly affected by what has gone on in the last 2 years. Until 2020, since I came into office, 2017, 2018, 2019, the beginning of 2020, we were growing our economy at about 7%, the GDP growth rate. One of the fastest growing economies in the world was the Ghanaian economy, even in the crunch year of 2020, when the economies of the world dived. Ghana, we still managed a positive rate of growth because the fundamentals of our economy are strong. But it has been a difficult task for all the economies of the world. I think it is important that when you're making the kind of provocative statements that you're making, that you situate yourself. You speak as if you're living in the same time as you and I, where the world economy as a whole has gone through very difficult times. And there are several things that we're doing, which is in the line of being able to pick up our economy again. I have no doubt that next year, if you were to come and speak to me like you're doing today, we will have a different set of facts for us to look at.
And the Omampani and what's in kind of the interview here on BBC, which is trending on social media earlier in the morning. Now, Fatih called for that video as part of the social media trend. Not what comes on the way. His Excellency the President, the interview.
First of all, for the first time, who journalist Obisa president questioner. Otumu say, my president I know is simple, not the fufraba, now the shame. You see, probing questions. As I mean, who interviews Ukrum how? Oh, my penya kotina ho. Na ebisa no questions. Na the three and ebisa question. As I mean, this was a serious business. And if the communicators or the handlers of the president thought it was going to be that kind of interview, yesterday the president had his mouth full. Sammy, what were the issues? The journalist was asking relevant questions pertaining to Ghana's economy. He even arrived at a conclusion, said, your economy is terrible. President said that. It's not true. Sammy, I said, Mr. President Khan, and he said, every country in the world is suffering. Every country in the world is suffering, is dealing with one challenge or the other. Indeed, it is true. But Sammy, the countries in the world know any problem are dealing with. Today, Ukraine is not talking about COVID. Ukraine is dealing with war. Russia is dealing with sanctions. And so the currency can be plain as it is plain. Today, Nigeria, you see, the president sought to take a pot shot at the interviewer. So even Nigeria, that man is not living in Nigeria, he's living in UK. But it's even Nigeria now, President Kobo, the president shouldn't have even gone there. So I mean, today, Nigeria is not crying because of COVID. Nigeria is not complaining because of Ukraine, Russia. Nigeria is complaining because of insecurity. Bandits, Nigeria is complaining about scarcity of fuel. Okay? So I mean, this country Nigeria are talking about, debt to GDP ratio. Today, you see, the MPP like these numbers. Debt to GDP ratio, Nigeria, as at today, stands at 36.88%. Nigeria. Ghana, show me. We are hitting almost 80% debt to GDP ratio.
80.7.
Thank you very much, Ami. This Nigeria we are talking about. Go and look at their debt as at today. We are talking about some $96 billion. Ghana, 30 million population. You see, I can pardon the Nigerians, a population of about 216 million people. Almost debt stock, edging 96 billion. I won't fault them. Ghana, $46 billion. Your debt stock. Today. Inflation, 51.7%. Ghana. Nigeria, 15.7. So I mean, for a population of 216 million people, if from inflation figure, Ghana 15.7, now Ghana 15.1, 30 million population. Who has challenges? Who has real economic challenges? You see, I mean, so you see that explanation saying the whole world, everybody is dealing with one problem or the other. Why is our currency the least ranked currency in terms of performance today? You see, I mean, let us not hide behind, and that is my problem. When government is speaking, that is my problem. We hide behind, oh, the whole world is suffering, the whole world is suffering. But I mean, everybody has one issue or the other they are dealing with. So when you come to Ghana, we are dealing with currency issues, we are dealing with food prices, we are dealing with petroleum, we are dealing with transport. It almost seems like everything that has to go wrong for an economy to be sinking seems to have gone wrong in Ghana. But people feel, say, they have to massage the issues or make it seem as if, say, we are living in land of milk and honey here. And it is because we were living in milk and honey before COVID came. And a COVID buy, you know, and a BBA jirigu here. And then after that, you know, Ukraine so buy and a BBA jirigu. So I mean, we did not build an economy that would have shock absorbers to be able to resist the shock. And that is where we are. And government must admit it. So I mean, this matter of everybody is paying digital service tax. You see, the president got it wrong. This matter of digital service tax. So I mean, when you go to other countries, digital service tax, no, if online advertising, online businesses, so I mean, that is where that taxation is coming from. It's a GRA, or my latest tax, or my say they'll be taxing or social media, no. That is what we classify as digital service tax. But when you enter a fintech industry, financial technology, so somebody creates a tool, send a buyer, or the technology, Bema financing is easy. So I mean, and you decide, say, you want to tax the fintech provider, absolutely nothing wrong with it. But when you move to the point where you want to tax Nipana or uses fintech, no, after we change the taxes, BBR on Sikana on Anksa, they are sharing. So I mean, if that doesn't amount to double taxation, then what is it? So president is telling us that, oh, it's a new economy that is coming and they have to tap into the value. So I mean, that value you want to tap into, it is not your money. This is money you have already had access to. It is, I mean, this E-Levy. I don't know what in this world. I don't know which economist. I don't know which tax experts can sit down and justify. You see, when you get to the point where you say, we need money, so, oh, let's take money from the pocket of Ghanaians, fine. But I don't know what justification. And the president was struggling to justify it. Immediately the president ran to digital service tax. Everybody knew that, yes, the plot had been lost. That cannot be classified as a digital service tax. What service? The person providing the service. That is MTN, that is Vodafone. On your tax for providing the service. Me, what are you taking digital service tax from me for? What service have you government provided for me? I will take digital service tax from me. If that is the classification the president wants to bring. So I mean, fact check. The president got it wrong there. It is, I mean, me this interview, I'm very happy with how the questions went. And I'm happy with the way the president struggled to defend his own government on the international stage for everybody to see. So I mean,
Ati.
First of all, I disagree partly with Raymond say presidents in a new question. That is not what makes a good journalist. Nipa ekasa woman and you see now we be standing question. It won't take anything away from you, even if you feel to counter Nipano factor or no demand counter Nipano response with facts that you have. Woman Nipani kasa we na why bombarding Nipano with questions while they are still talking. No, it's not the mark of a friend. Say a good journalist might enjoy your home. No,
that's a interview.
I think that when the president says to say, the whole world, yes, every country is struggling near there. I agree with Raymond partly. Say that is not our issue. And fire home, we are not in those countries. Yen to Obama presidents and heads of state of those countries. Won I to Obama only buying. Say we want a particular kind of economy in Ghana. We want a particular kind of governance. We want a particular kind of development. Into Obama, in spite of challenges that other countries you come no, then and I will base me I am my. Granted, the president mentioned Nigeria, mentioned insecurity and all that. It is true. Same, what is the essence of a good GDP? What is the essence of a friend is saying your currency doing well if I cannot travel from Kumasi to Accra without being bombed or being killed? what is the essence of currency and competing well on the international market when I cannot go and buy fuel? I just am a gallon. Time my productive hours, I'm the medical jina friend station, I'm a train fuel. There are serious problems with each country. Send you put it,
problems.
They are dealing with. We can also deal with ours. But then again, no. Of course, if president mentions other countries, not there to say in some aspects and things that we are doing better in that area, just as we are being told, say your currency is the worst and all that, we can also say we are doing well in terms of security. You think it is easy to maintain a certain level of security in your country? You think?
I come there. What's the security?
Now, what Adriano to car for train, na call a Kaduna, na call Adriano. They are bomb now and send Adriano. Over need. And Tisame, I would only say, we have our problems. Let's focus on our problems. Then a bit me a best solve our problems. So I was expecting that the president would have mentioned even on my call, on my meeting, finance minister and some of can say the way to acquire or cancer and your mano instead of sticking with the whole world we are saying that's it. Honestly, that was where I thought Sanga president never say yes indeed I accept that things are hard, and of course in other countries the whole world things are hard, but as Ghanaians and I say as the government of Ghana we are doing ABCD. That's it. That's it.
When the journalist said your economy is terrible, you see, President ran away from admitting that indeed the economy is terrible.
But President has already admitted that the economy is not going well. That is why they came up with those things they mentioned as things that they are doing to solve the problem.
Admit it.
The economy might be bad, but not terrible.
It is terrible.
And if you tell me my economy is terrible, I know that we are struggling, but it's not terrible.
Sammy,
I will not accept that it is terrible.
There's no government in this world that likes numbers than the MPPO. Numbers. GDP, debt to GDP ratio. Sammy, E-Levy, justification on the buyer. I'm say tax to GDP. You are lowest 13%. Sammy, this government likes numbers, and so when the numbers are bad, it stands to reason. Say, Sammy, we've reached.
But then again,
we've reached a point where.
But then again, I think that if government communication handlers, I don't even want to say communication. Government, journalists, or baby questions, I say they want to. I said they want to tell you what kind of questions you should ask. So Mujai said and can be sure say some of these questions that Peter Koche asks, and could be a bisa president we're gonna have that. I'm a answer and not our answer here. And amongst the team, they could have gone to say, "Oh, President, the thing should have been this way," and could do one. And can who their course.
Sammy, today, so
let's not make it look like. Let's not make it look like there is no Ghanaian journalist
there is nothing he asked in that interview that we haven't asked.
Exactly.
There is nothing he asked. The only thing is that the only thing we haven't done is that, for instance, on HMS, we haven't got the president to sit with us face to face.
Sammy, but what happened between Okoche and Mr. President? I dare say, Sammy, you will not be allowed to go that way with the president.
That is different.
Well, you are saying that you not being allowed.
The handlers, the president's handlers,
the
handlers. No, wait. I'm saying that the handlers will hand Sammy paper.
No,
with the questions on it. Go and ask these questions. I'm telling you.
Meti, Anya be my interview president.
Sammy,
yes, they may give you
paper.
But you see, the trick about interviewing.
What's the one I will be that questions on my bay?
You see, the trick about interviewing is no matter what script they give you, your ability to deviate. Yes, your ability to deviate out of that interview is when the person makes a comment which is not in the script.
Sammy, if you deviate, you whip you back into life.
Oh, how will you?
I'm telling you.
Oh, Raymond.
I said they will be there.
Yeah, interview be there. Raymond. Yeah, yes, I interview be there. Yes, script or synopsis will be on. But nipa ne cast and be or can we is off script and then I'm home.
Sammy, all I'm saying is that you see, we should allow journalists in this country to ask probing questions, to ask questions. But
that one I disagree with you.
I
disagree with you.
When the president sits in front of me, no, Sammy, when president sits in front of me, I say, President, Mr. President.
No.
E-Levy,
I disagree with you.
No, but Sammy, listen. Mr. President, Ghana for say E-Levy no munti.
No.
Sammy, when you ask president question that
no. You see, I wouldn't sit here.
Oh, Sammy.
And let us downplay.
We've seen this kind of questions.
You see, Raymond. We've
seen this kind of
why
question.
do you think? Listen. If you didn't know, you have lots of fans out there. If you didn't know, Fatih, you have lots of fans out there, and so do I also have lots of fans out there. It's not as if the content we put out there, no. The content we put out there, and I always say, and I proudly say, that HMS content is rich.
Yes.
I proudly say it. HMS content is rich. On HMS, don't make that mistake. I'm telling you, don't make that mistake because Oba, what has to be asked will be asked to you. Unless, of course, say, Masa, questions. You will ask the relevant questions. Opa, it may be sir. But I disagree with you when you say that Ghanaian journalists cannot ask those questions. The questions he's asking, we've asked them severally.
He said
whether you be allowed. Yes. You see, me, from my experience, there are interviews that answer any part of yes, this is where you are going with your interview.
Week. Yes.
Me, I have done interviews where Nippon other questions in the brain say, oh, this is your line of question now. I also told you know. I say no, Ghana. Because yes, I didn't deviate off your line of questioning, but the person I'm interviewing went on a tangent which gave me an opportunity or a window to go where I want to go to. Mm-hmm. In the end, I may bring him back to the questions, but I would have gone where I want to go to. It's about your ability to use your interview skills.
Yes.
As simple as that. But
Raymond used it. Others were laughing.
But to be fair with Raymond, imagine say His Excellency the President were to be sitting in front of me this morning. And by this time, could you upon Kroma, yes. They are all standing here.
No more you say.
Look inside. Yes.
Yes.
And so for that in the air, I mean, that platform and how the interviewer handled it, or on my penny team anymore.
I said, one.
Yes, Obi anyhow. What name road no sooner say a bumpia? No free. Yes. Sabi na minya ka mepe, but unya.
What me say also unya.
Yes, unya.
But interview may the same thing amount our Jubilee House. Make sure
that day
say nyasa akwenya na me I am putting it to you guys. Me wo mini pa me man akoye interview and I'm telling you.
So you need the panel. Hands fish. but seriously.
Na president, I don't coffee.
Oh, Mujasa.